Hello, everyone, and welcome to this show and tell. I'm Sophie, and today I'm going to do a review of Wandavision. It's a mini-series about Wanda Maxima's life after the blip. The blip is a period of 5 years where only half of the population is alive after war with Thanos. She is a Marvel anti-hero, and in this series she creates a parallel reality to avoid suffering for everything she lost 5 years ago. Wanda had never been able to be happy. She was born and raised in Sokovia in the middle of a war, where her parents were killed by the weapons of the Stark Company. When she was like 20 years old, she was tested and used for many studies by scientists who wanted to know where all her power came from and use it to their advantage, of course. Years later, she and her brother joined the Avengers, so she was sharing a team with the man who made the weapons that killed their parents, Tony Stark. That same year, her brother died in a battle. After the war against Thanos for the Gems of Infinity, her husband, who protected the Gem of the Mind, tells her that the only way to win the battle is to kill him, and with him, the gem. So with sacrifice and sadness, Wanda kills her husband, even though Thanos won and wiped out half the population, and she was one of those who disappeared. 5 years later, and thanks to the Avengers who were left alive, they could revive those who disappeared in that war, but her husband was still dead. After all the misfortunes she experienced, she kidnapped a town called Westview and revived her husband to build a perfect life there. At first, she did it unconsciously. She didn't know that she was the one who handled that reality. She didn't even know that it was an alternative reality. Once she started to suspect and understand that she controls the town, she tried to tell her husband, but he didn't understand what she means, so she decided to wait for another time. But suddenly she gets pregnant of Billy and Tommy. After that, she didn't even try to tell the Vision that they are in an alternative reality because she understood that it was the only way for her to be happy in the way she wanted. Each chapter represents the phases of grief. The first one represents negation. The second one is the wrath. The first time she is shown like this is when the US authorities discover that she was kidnapping Westview and decided to send someone undercover to come to her senses, but she finds out and uses her power violently to run her out of town. And the third phase is the negotiation, when the SHIELD agents try to break into Westview. It is the first time that Wanda comes out to tell them that if they let her live in peace, she won't hurt them. And the fourth phase is depression. And as she begins to collapse, her fictional reality also begins to fade little by little. She loses control of her emotions and she said, "I don't understand what's happening, why it's all falling apart and why I can't fix it." That's all for today. Thanks for your attention and see you in the next review. Bye!